My son Jake, who's in Israel at the moment, we WhatsApp video chat almost every day, or we at least exchange messages almost every day. Sent me a message this morning. It was really, really cool. He's a music aficionado. Both my sons have incredible taste in music. I take full credit for that, by the way. But he sent me a video of Jack Johnson. Do you know? I don't know if you know Jack Johnson. He's kind of the Hawaii vibing, California surfer vibe guy who did Bubbly Toes and Upside Down and Hope and Wish and Waiting. Those songs. Really cool vibe. Always sounds like he's around a campfire. And he just sends, Jake sends the caption, "Chillest man in show business. Watch the video." So I watched the video, and Jack Johnson starts to sing a song. And just before he sings the song, he goes, "Is it really rude to do you sing a song with a hair in your mouth in front of 10,000 people, or do you take the time to take the hair out of your mouth?" And he does this in front of 10,000 people. He takes the hair out of his mouth, and he goes and takes a drink of water, and he sings the song. And my son noticed that that's the chillest man in show business. And I love that. I love that, that he noticed that a man could be on stage, all eyes on him, and just be human, just be himself. Now, it takes a lot to be comfortable in your own skin, to be comfortable in, to have that living room. You've heard Stephen Kellogg on the show a couple of times. He's been on the show. He's a rock star who I've seen, and he's comfortable on stage. That's where he's at his most in his own skin, which is holding an entire room full of people, entertaining them and bringing them along on a journey. So Jack Johnson does the same thing. And we were joking back and forth. It's like, could we be this chill in our lives? How could you be so unperturbable? How could you be so authentic and real in your life, like Jack Johnson on stage? So I started to think about that, and I think about my own journey of being really, really uptight. I remember when I first got to town and I first got sober, the joke was, I had the whitest t-shirts and the whitest sneakers anybody had ever seen. I remember someone stopping me and saying, how you always look so perfect? Because I was so uptight. I had to be perfect. I had to recycle. I had to be polite. I had to be insightful. I had to be interested in people. I had to be useful. And I was just so uptight because I was trying to make up for being such a screw up in the past, that I just was really, really uptight. And it was hard for me to enjoy life because I was, really trying to cover all bases. So I was definitely not Jack Johnson or Stephen Kellogg. But fast forward years and years and years of taking off those scales of that, taking off that armor and that sheen of perfectness, and really helps to crash and burn, stone cold sober. It helps to have that midlife crisis, and where everything is taken away: career, your status, your persona in the world, to see that, to see what's left. It's painful as all get out. It's like death, to have all of that taken away, all stripped away. And I've talked about this before. I was suicidal. I wanted to die. But that was also the greatest gift, because as I built myself back, I built something, air quotes, authentic. But I was able to be human again. I was able to not have my t-shirts be so perfectly white. I was able to be a little bit more messy. And it's been a process to be more messy, to be more authentic, to screw up, to put things out in the world. It's interesting. I just went to a workshop where we worked on childhood beliefs. And one of my childhood beliefs was, I need to be accepted to be safe. I need to be accepted to be safe. I'm not safe because my neighborhood, when I was a kid, was Lord of the Flies. It was just horrible. Each person was given a turn to be ostracized and ridiculed and destroyed in the neighborhood. And when it was my turn, I just never went back. I was never accepted back into the group, or I never went back into the group or tried to get back. I don't remember, but I was scarred by that. Like, I just was scarred by the fact that I was not safe by not being accepted. So for me to do a podcast, to be speaking to you right now through the microphone, telling you, interviews are different. Interviews are actually easier because I can put the spotlight on other people. But for me, doing these solo podcasts and talking about what I think about, how I feel, what my experiences are, it's terrifying. Am I going to be accepted? Are you guys going to accept what it is I'm offering you? So to be that chill, now how do you do it? How do I do it? A lot of that has been meditation. A lot of that has been understanding that Mark, the persona, isn't that important in the world. A lot of it is age, right? A lot of it is just kind of letting go of that. Um, and now as I'm exploring that, now see, here's where the self-conscious comes. I'm coming up a little bit short on how to help you learn to not give a fuck as much what other people think. And I think that that's just trial and error, being bold, failing in public, failing, picking yourself up and seeing that you're going to be okay. Um, but again, looking at Jack Johnson and looking at watching other people who are chill and comfortable in their own skin, and then learning from that. For me, just watching the video and saying I can do that. One of the places where I learned that was like when I get on stage, I sweat, and then I worry about that I'm sweating, so I sweat more, and then I decided to accept the fact that I sweat. Once I accepted the fact that I sweated for a less period of time, and it became easier to not sweat so much. So again, just accepting who I am. Hope this is helpful. Again, self-consciousness. When I'm done with one of these things, was it useful? Was it worthwhile? Was it lame? Are you going to accept it? And I don't care. Like, I've learned to press record, press send, and do the video and do the podcast. So I'd love your comments on it. Take care of yourself. I love you. Have a great rest of the day.